Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd. I'm your host Mikey. Today we're going to do the Granny Stripes hat. If you've ever wanted to do a hat and granny style, today is your lucky day. We're going to do this together on camera. This is using Bernat Super Value yarn. This is one of my most favorite yarns of all time, and let me tell you a little bit about that. So here is Bernat Super Value yarn. I have been using this yarn since my 20s. I love this yarn. This has been my go-to yarn when it comes to anything else. So yarns come and go in the marketplace, but the Bernat Super Value is one that I've come to trust over the years and has nostalgia for me, because really when I think about the earlier years of me learning to crochet, the Bernat Super Value has been part of my life. It's a few things why I chose it way back in my 20s. I can afford this yarn. It's everyday yarn, and when you look at the shelf you see so many different color options. It's one of the very few mega brands out there that has a ton of color options that are available to you. So I like that I can go to a shelf and choose colors that mean something for me, but also use a yarn that I can trust. So Bernat Super Value is just a yarn that I generally love, and it's something that I go to on a regular basis when I'm looking to just do something that's kind of mindless, but I also want to do something that I really cherish as well, like afghans and hats and scarves and more. So let's go back to the pattern. There's a total of 5 different colors that you can see here. Again, the color options are completely optional. You can do a solid color if you want to, and really I think if you did a solid color it'd just be one ball of yarn if you would like to do that. Today I'm going to be using 4 different colors in order to make my particular hat. It fits the average size woman, and what we're going to be doing is that we're going to start off in the top of the hat and start to grow this thing out, and then we're going to work our way down to the brim, which is done afterward, as we just added to our project at the end with some rib stitching, as you can see. Overall a very easy pattern to be able to master. This is a great charity project if you're thinking about anybody that you think would love one like this, maybe even homeless and people that are in need. This is a great go-to hat for those that are looking for something to do. So without further ado, you're going to need a 5mm size H crochet hook today, and grab your Bernat Super Value yarn and let's get started. So before we get started, you're going to notice that there's different colors, and you're going to notice a note on this pattern. It says, do not break the yarn, carry the colors not in use on the wrong side of the work. WS is wrong side, and you can always tell by the abbreviations down here. So what happens is that instead of cutting the colors and having to weave them in, you just carry them on the inside of the hat, and the next time you have to just use it, then you just make sure that it's nice and taut and then use it again, so it saves you from having to have a ton of loose ends. So let's begin now. So if you're new to one of my tutorials, what I just do is that I kind of follow the pattern off camera, and then I follow it so you can grab that pattern and follow along with me. So let's create a slip knot to begin, and this is classified as an easy pattern. So not necessarily for beginners, but if you're paying attention, a beginner probably could do this too. So without further ado, let's just begin, and we are going to chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and let's insert our hook into the beginning chain. Just go right into the beginning and yarning over it and pulling through and through, and this here is the center ring of the top of your hat. This straggler loose end I want you to wrap around as if we're going to bury it underneath in the next round. So let's begin round number 1. So let's begin round number 1. We're going to chain 3, and this counts as a double crochet in the rules of crochet for this particular pattern. So this chain 3 is actually a double crochet, and I want you to double crochet one more time into the center of the ring, and just go right into the middle of the ring, pull through 2 and 2. So that's a double crochet. So using this straggler like it's part of the ring, it'll trap it underneath. So now I want you to chain 1, and now I want you to put 2 double crochets into the ring again. So just 1 and 2. And so we're just going to keep repeating what we just have learned. So chain 1 and put 2 more into the center of the ring. The whole idea is that we're going to have 6 groups of 2 into the center of the ring, like 2 double crochets. So we have 1 group here, 1 group here, 1 group here, and now we're going to keep on going. So chain 1 and just going into the center of the ring again 2 times, 1 and 2, and then chain 1 and do it again. And so you now have 5, so 5 groups of 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, chain 1 and do your final group of 2. So that gives you 6 groups of 2. And to finish off your round, what you're going to do is that you got to remember that you've split your 2 double crochets with a chain 1. So make sure you chain 1 first and then you're going to go into the top here. So, okay, so what we're gonna do is that when you go into the top, what you want to do is drop this color and grab another color and just leave this off to the side and grab another color to finish this off, and I'll be right back with the new color. So I have a new color here, and I'm just gonna create a slip knot to begin, and right where we are, you're about to finish this off, so just put this new color on and just drag it through and through and leave that green so it's just hanging in the back end, and now your new color is ready to go then for round number 2. So let's begin round number 2 using this same color. So let's begin round number 2. So right now I'm attached to the first one of the double crochet. This is the chain 3, but I need to get to this chain 1 space. So how I get there is that I go into the top of the next double crochet and I slip stitch. So in, and then go into the next chain 1 space and pull through and through. So now I'm ready to do round number 2. So we're going to chain 3, which counts as a double crochet, and we're gonna double crochet once again into that same space. Just like that. And then we're gonna chain 1, and in the same space again I want you to put 2 more double crochets. So this will be the repeat pattern going all the way around. So now that your 2 groups of double crochet that are separated by a chain 1, you need to chain 1 and then just jump to the next chain 1 space and repeat the same thing. So you're going to put in 2 double crochet, chain 1, and in the same one again 2 double crochet. So each one of the chain 1 spaces are gonna have the exact same thing, and then once you get that done, just chain 1 again and then jump to the next chain 1 space, and I want you to do that all the way around for this round. I'll see you at the end of this round. So I'm making my way all the way around. Don't forget you still have another chain 1 space here. Just chain 1 first and then coming in and finishing that off. Okay, so 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet, and before you're done this round, what you have to do is that you have to make sure that you chain 1 first, and then you're gonna go into the top of the first chain 3, but we're gonna add another color at this point. So you're just gonna let this color drop out of the way. You're gonna keep your green still out of the way because we'll use that later, and then we're gonna bring another color. So let me bring another color in and let's have some fun. So let's introduce another color, and again the color changing is just completely optional, and if you didn't want to change your color you'll just use this one to pull through. But if you're gonna change color, just put it on first and then just put it through and through to finish that off in order to make that work, and then we're gonna use this new color then to do round number 3. So let's begin round number 3. So we're now attached to the first double crochet, but we have to get ourselves to the first chain 1 space that you see here. So we're just gonna slip stitch across to the next double crochet and then go right into the chain 1 space using the new yarn color. So this round is exceptionally easy really. We're gonna chain up 3, which counts as a double crochet, and in this case we're gonna put 2 more double crochets into the same space. Nice and easy. And then you're going to chain 1 and you're going to jump to the next chain 1 space and add in 3 more double crochets. So that's your repeat pattern for the whole round for round number 3. Really quite easy. Okay, so let's just quickly review again. So chain 1, jump to the next chain 1 space and place in 3 double crochets. Please do that all the way around for round number 3. So I'm coming all the way back around and I'm just filling in all the spaces with 3 double crochets. So just make sure that if things start to loosen up, just pull things a little bit tighter and taut, nice for you, and that'd be awesome. So just make sure you chain 1 first and then join to the top of the first chain 3. But I told you I was gonna use 4 colors, so I'm gonna grab the final color that I'm gonna use for this, and then I will start then keep on going using the colors that are already attached. So let's attach my final color. I'm going with the darker kind of blue, and then I'm just gonna put it onto the hook and pull through and through. And now I'm ready to go for round number 4. So let's just grab the yarn we're about to play with and start round number 4. So let's begin round number 4. So do you see down here that we had 2 double crochets and then we split them off with a chain 1 and then 2 back in? Well, every time we do that we're gonna have to have that same configuration, and then the spaces in between have 3 double crochets. So it's a way of kind of splitting it off to make it look really good. So we have to get ourselves to the next chain 1 space, so we're just gonna slip stitch ourselves over to get ourselves to that particular chain 1 space, and then we're going to begin. So we're going to chain up 3, which counts as a double crochet, and then what I want you to do is that I want you to double crochet 2 more times. So when there's only one item in a space, it's always going to be putting in 3 double crochets, but when you're going to split it, you're going to do 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets. So let's just chain 1 next, and now the next one is going to be a split. So we're going to do 2 double crochets, so 1 and 2, chain 1, and into the same spot we're going to put in 2 more double crochets. So we're gonna chain 1, and the next one is just gonna be what you did over here, 3 double crochets. So this one's by itself, so there's only 3 double crochets in there, followed by a chain 1, and then the next one is another split. So it's 2 double crochet, and you'll see how it splits in the next round. Chain 1 and 2 double crochet. So please do that same idea going all the way around, please. So in keeping in balance with the pattern, I only have one more space left. If things are getting loose, just tighten things up, and you can always tighten it later too. So chain 1, and the final space is gonna be that split. So it'll be 2 double crochet, followed by chain 1 and 2 double crochet. So we have to join it to the beginning of the chain 3, but first make sure you chain 1 first and then join. So now I'm gonna bring back the green, so I'm gonna let this color drop. I'm not gonna get rid of it, and then I'm just gonna reach it behind and get the green, and I'm gonna pull it through and through. So the goal here is that when you pull this green through, you wanna make sure that things are not loose. So let me just tighten everything back up. So I wanna make sure the strand is kind of there, but it's not to the point where it's like pulling, like it's gonna warp it. So you gotta just make sure it's kinda nice and taut, and once you do the first set of stitches, then it's permanently in there, and you just gotta make sure it's gonna look good right from the get-go. So let's begin round number 5. So round number 5, it's like this round here, this gray. It's just gonna be 3 double crochets into each chain 1 space, so when you have them in split, there'll be 1 there and here and etc. So again, we're in the wrong space to start, so let's slip stitch ourselves to the first chain 1 space, and now we're there, and we're gonna chain up 3. So 1, 2, 3, and we're gonna put in 2 more double crochets into that same spot. So this round is really easy, so just chain up 1, go to the next chain 1 space. It happens to be where it's splitting, and you're gonna put in 3 double crochet there, followed by chain 1, and then go to the next chain 1 space, and please do that all the way around for round number 5. So I'm coming up to the end of round number 5, and I'm just filling in all the spaces with just 3 double crochet each, and followed by a chain 1 after. Again, if things are loosening up, just give them a little bit of a pull on the other side. Make sure it's nice. Chain 1 and then just slip stitch. So when you slip stitch, you don't have to go in the same color options that you want. You can choose any color really, because you're carrying. So I'm gonna turn it around, and just for the sake of tutorial, I'm just gonna grab the next color that I did use, and I'm gonna pull it through and through, and I'm gonna drop the green out of the way and pull everything nice and tight. So let's begin the 6th round. The 6th round is the final growth round. So if you're thinking it's a little bit too small at this point, the next round is the one that gets it to the adult size, and you'll see that it will relax in time and will get to the adult size head. So let's begin round number 6. So let's pay attention to round number 6. So we have a growth, but it's not like it has been. So it's not like it's been 1 and then a split and then a 1 and a split. So we are actually only gonna split a few times within this particular round. So what we're gonna do is that we're going to slip stitch over. Okay, so make sure you use the same color that you're supposed to be using. You never know, right? So you're gonna pull through, you're gonna slip stitch with the new color through and through, and you're going to go right to the chain 1 space and then begin. So the first one that we're gonna start with is gonna be a chaining of 3, counts as a double crochet, and I want you to put in 2 more double crochets into that particular space. And then we're gonna follow it with the chain 1, and then in the next space what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a split. So we're gonna put in our 2 double crochets first, and then chain 1 and then 2 double crochets, just like that. So here's what the repeat pattern is going to be. You're gonna chain 1, and in the next 5 spaces you are going to put 3 double crochets into them, and then the next one after that is going to be a split. So let's just kind of work on this around together. So there's next 5 are gonna be 3 double crochets. So this is one group of 5. So followed by chain 1 to split them off between each other. So this is 2. So chain 1, go into the next chain 1 space. It's very easy to count this out too. This is 3 followed by a chain 1, and here's your next one. This is number 4 followed by a chain 1, and this is your 5th, and then followed by a chain 1. So here's what we're gonna do. So chain 1. So the next one, so you have 5 that are sitting by themselves, and now the next one is gonna be a split. So it'll be 2 double crochet followed by a chain 1 and then 2 double crochet to allow you to split it one more time, and then chain 1, and then the next 5 in a row are gonna be all 3 double crochets in a row. So I'll do that here on camera with you. This is number 2. Number 3. Okay, that was number 4. And this is the 5th one that will be sitting by itself, and then the next one is a split. So chain 1, the next one's a split, so 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet, and then you continue again with what you already know. So chain 1, okay, and so all you're just gonna do then is that you're just gonna fill these all in. So you got 1, 2, 3, and 4, and that makes complete sense because this here is the 5th one if you were to do 5 that are sitting by itself. So that gives you an indication that you're on the right track. So just the last ones now, you're just gonna put in 3 double crochets each, followed by a chain 1, and I'm not really counting them out because I've already kind of just looked in advance and I proved that to you that we're gonna work it out to be proper. So that means it's all good to go. And then here's the final one. So what we have to just do is just join it to the top of the chain 3. So make sure you chain 1 first, join to the top of the chain 3, look at what color is next. It's more of a lighter gray. So I'm just gonna reach in behind, grab the lighter gray and pull through and through to finish off that round. So that was the last time it's gonna be the growth, and now all the rest of the rounds up until the brim are gonna be all the same as each other. So let's begin to show you how to do that. This is round number 7. So round number 7, we just have to slip stitch ourselves to the first chain 1 space with the color that we want to use, and then we're gonna chain a total of 3, which counts as a double crochet, and then we're just going to put in 2 more double crochets in there again. So each one of the chain 1 spaces, regardless if it's between a split or the regular, is all gonna get 3 double crochets, and I want you to do that all the way around for round number 7. So I'm coming up to the end of round number 7. You're gonna notice it's gonna start bowling on you. That's exactly what you need. It's a hat, right? So you're gonna come into the very last space, you're gonna put in your 3 double crochets, and you're gonna move forward. So when you move forward, you're just gonna make sure you chain 1 first, pull everything nice and tight, and then just join it to the top, and then just drop that color. So the next color will be, what do we have here? It'll be this blue. So looking in behind, just carry up the blue. And so what I want you to do is that every round now is now identical until it gets to the brim, and our goal is that you're gonna fold this in half, and you're gonna get a total of 8 inches from the top here to the other side. So you got a little bit of work to do. So as you begin each round, you're going to slip stitch to the first chain 1 space like you always have been, and then you begin. So every one of the chain 1 spaces is gonna be the same now until you get your 8 inches high, and it's gonna be starting off with chaining a 3 and 2 double crochet in the first one, and then chain 1, and then each space is just like a regular granny square at this particular point for the way that it's working. Okay, so what I want you to do is every time you get around, just drop your color, get the next color, and I want you to get it, and you're gonna need a measuring tape at this particular point, and then when you get to all the way to 8 inches, then you're gonna be good to go, and then we're gonna carry on from the brim. So I'll leave that homework with you, and then when we come back, I'll have the brim starting with you then. So I've now continued. I have my 8 inches done, and now I'm going to continue with the green. So the brim is all one complete color. So what I can just do now is that I can go on the inside of this, and all the yarns that I've been carrying up all throughout, I want to get rid of all of the colors but the green and keep the green on board for the remaining of it. So what I can just do is that I can just trim all this extra yarn out, and what I can just do there, and then what you want to do with each one of these colors is that you want to weave in the ends. So just as we go, so just grab your darning needle and just feed it onto your needle and go into the exact same color to where you are. So just I'm gonna go through the blue, and if you go in and out of the stitch work a total of 3 times, what happens is that it never falls out on you. So just back in, just underneath the stitches, so 2 and 3, and now that color's gone. So you can just trim it right down to the project, and you notice I'm doing this on the inside of the hat as well. And so then I'm gonna grab the next color that's available to you, and you're gonna do this with all your colors. Just feed it on there. Just takes a few moments, and this is a lot better to do it this way than it is to try to use a crochet hook and weave things in. It just doesn't look as good. So just using a darning needle back and forth a total of 3 times. And make sure you go in a different set of fibers each time you go back and forth in order to really lock it, and then you can get rid of that as well. So do that with all your colors, then I'll see you back here, and then we'll start the brim together. You're gonna need a 4.5 millimeter sized G crochet hook in order to play with that. It's a US 7 as well. So just gonna use that, and we'll be right back here in just a moment. So let's begin our first round of doing the ribbing. So using a 4.5 millimeter, a US 7, could be a size G as well, and you're going to just chain up 1 to where you are, and then just a single crochet into the same one. So this is a smaller hook, so it'll tighten up the stitches, and then each one of the double crochets you're just gonna do a single crochet, and when you hit a chain 1 space, just single crochet around that space. Okay, so just each double crochet is gonna get a single, and you're gonna notice it's gonna pull it in because you're using a smaller hook than you were before. And then remember, in the chain 1 space you're gonna just single crochet right into the space. So please do that all the way around for round number 1 of doing the ribbing. Once you get all the way back around, you're just gonna go right into the final space there and just join it to the top of the first one that we had started. So round number 2, just a very easy round. They're all easy, I guess you can say, is that we're going to go with the double crochet front post and then a double crochet back post, and we're gonna alternate between the 2. So what we have to do is that the first one that we do is that it's gonna chain 2, and right into the same one that you just did that in, what you want to do is that you want to do a front post double crochet. So double crochet, so just wrap the hook going into the post and just going down and inside of it, and then come out the other side. Okay, so every one of the posts are kind of what makes up a stitch. So wrap the hook going in one side of it and pop it out the other, and just double crochet. Okay, so then the next one is a back post. So going in, so wrapping it, coming in from the back, and then pop it out back towards the back, and then just pull through, and that's a back post double crochet. So the next one here is a front post. So you want to continue to do that going all the way around. The chain 2 that you had started with does not count as anything, it's just a builder, and then you just keep going back post, front post, back post, front post, and keep alternating between the 2, and this is going to establish doing the ribs. So please do this all the way around for round number 2, and I'll see you back here in just a moment. So I'm coming all the way around, and the last one should be a back post double crochet because the first one that you started with was a front post, and you're gonna join it to the top of the front post that you had started with. So round number 3 is going to be identical then for the remaining, and you need to get this 2 inches wide. You use your tape measure to do that. So each one of the rounds are now the same from this point. So you're gonna chain 2, does not count as anything, and into the front post double crochet. You're gonna keep it as a front post double crochet to keep that rib on the outside. The next one is a back post. It's already on the back, so just come around from the back and just make sure that you keep it as a back post double crochet, and you keep alternating between the two. So this is a front post double crochet, the next one is a back. So you just can see what you already have and just match it, and it's really quite awesome. So continue to that all the way for round number 3, and then we'll just quickly review, and then I'm gonna leave the rest for you to do to get your 2 inches done. It will not take you much time at all because you are doing double crochet at this particular point. So please do that all the way around. So I'm coming all the way around on round number 3, and I'm just matching everything that I see, and then I just join it to the top of the first front post double crochet, and then I just take a quick measurement. Is it 2 inches? I can tell it's not. So if it's not, just continue to chain up 2, and again just start again, front post double crochet, just match exactly what you already see to continue. So please do that now. Get your 2 inches done, and then meet me back here, and then I'll just show you how to weave in your ends one last time, and we'll call this tutorial done for today. So I have the size that I need now, and it's now 2 inches, and I'm just finishing up the final stitches here, and that's it. So nice and easy. Join it to the top of the first front post double crochet, and now we're gonna weave in our ends. So just cut it long enough that you can get that onto a darning needle and just pull it through to lock it. And then what I want you to do is just grab your darning needle now and feed it on there, and turn it so that you can see the underside of the project, the back side of this, and just weave it underneath the stitches. So don't go on the top of it in order to ruin the border line. So just going back and forth. So how many times you gotta go? You gotta do a total of 3, right? So 3 is that magic number of getting it to lock into position without ever having to worry about your ends falling out. Nothing's worse than, well, I guess there could be things that are worse, but nothing is worse than tails falling out of your hat when you're wearing it, because people do notice that. So then you can cut it right down to the project, and you're good to go, and you've got all your ends in, and now your hat is ready to wear. So until next time, see, even the back here, this is the seam line. It looks really awesome. So you just might want to put that towards the back. But overall, great job today. And until next time, I'm Mikey on behalf of the Crochet Crowd. Please stay tuned for more free patterns and ideas right here. And we'll see you again. Bye-bye.